Social engineering sounds technical, but it's basically hacking people, not computers. It happens when attackers use tricks like fear, urgency, and false trust to make you hand over to access without even realizing what's happening. And the crazy part is, this is one of the biggest reasons companies get hacked easily. So, in today's video, I'm breaking down what social engineering really is, the common trick attackers use, and the types you should actually watch out for. So, if you want to know how hackers target humans instead of firewall, this one is for you. So, let's begin.
We are going to start with the social engineering, right? So this social engineering, we will be looking at like with practical hands-on demo as well, right? So yeah, let me start with that. So first, let's try to understand that what is social engineering, right? So social engineering is the act of manipulating a person to take an action that may or may not be in the target's best interest. So okay, so what I will be trying to do is, over here you can consider the attackers are targeting the human resource majorly by social engineering methods, right? So that will cause a particular person to reveal their sensitive information, or they will perform certain action which they should not take, right? That kind of thing we can, as an attacker, achieve through the social engineering. So like this is also known as human hacking, obviously, as we are going to apply this particular attack on the humans, right? So social engineering is the manipulation of someone to like divulge a confidential information that can be used for fraudulent purpose, right? So the social engineering gathers information about their victims. So again, in this social engineering as well, the one of the most important thing that you have to understand is you are going to collect the information about a particular person, and that information includes almost everything, right? Your social media profiles, your LinkedIn profiles, where do you live, your mobile number, your email ID, right? The attacker tries to gain all this stuff so that they can craft attack accordingly, like what job profile that you are having, what are the works that you are doing, right? So the attacker tries to get all this information about an individual so that they can craft an attack accordingly, right? So for that, what attacker can do is, like from your LinkedIn profile, they can try to get your email ID, your contact details. From Facebook, they can try to get your address. From Instagram, they can try to get your pictures, right? If you are having an open account, or like they can create a dummy Instagram profile and send you a request, and if you are accepting that request as a follower, eventually they are going to get your images, right? So that kind of thing we are having. So first, attacker tries to gather the information about an individual, right? Then the social engineering possess as legitimate person and build trust with their victim. So see, now in this case, you can consider n number of scenarios that how an attacker can interact with the particular person and try to build trust with them, right? So let's say for an example, like someone sends you a LinkedIn profile, and like they send you a request. You now you add them into your connections. Like they disguise themselves as a legitimate. Let's say if they find that you are looking for a job, then what they can do is they can like show them as HR of any organization who are looking or who are recruiting for the similar job profile that you are looking for, right? Then they send you the details and something like that. They will be having some dummy website or something, right? So basically they are trying to build trust so that you can think that yes, it's a legitimate one. Then after, they can send you certain link, they ask you to fill a form or something. Everything will look like something which is let's say legitimate. You will find everything legitimate. Then they can ask, let's say, just send give this exam. Okay, the test, they can ask you to attempt a test, and for that they can charge you some certain amount, right? Certain amount of dollars, like they ask you to have $100 to attempt that particular test, right? And as you just pay $100, that whole thing goes like they will completely vanished, right? So this kind of social engineering to get money, they can do that kind of thing. Or the same scenario I can have, and I can consider, let's say they gives you link. If you open that link and install a software, like they automatically install software in your system, then from there your system can get compromised, right? So now from one particular scenario, you can consider there can be many different type of attacks are possible by the attacker, right? So that's a major thing in social engineering, and this particular attack is growing a lot. Not only in terms of this kind of we can consider social media, but there are many cyber frauds are becoming more and more popular, right? So that's the thing. Then the social engineer basically gather information about their victim, and then the social engineering engineer possess as legitimate person and build trust with their victim, and from there they can perform certain malicious tasks as we discussed, right? So there are lot of types of social engineering can happen. If I talk about financial losses, like there are certain frauds which are coming, something like we are calling from Microsoft support, your Windows system is required some update, and they try to target some old age people more because they would not be having much more information about the certain things. So from there it might be happen that they can fall into this kind of social engineering attack. Then that person will ask that, let's say, give me $300 and I will fix the problems that are there in your system, or you are having new update that you have to install. For that, this much amount of cost will happen. So any kind of thing can be there. Even nowadays, some kind of social engineering happens there where they try to threaten you, right? The scammers we can consider, right? They will get your mobile number, and with every information that what you are doing, where you are working, what is your profile. Basically that's profiling. Your whole profile will be there with the attacker or a scammer, and then they will craft such a scam, and they'll try to get like money from you, right? So that kind of financial loss can happen through the social engineering, right? Not only financial loss, there can be more critical things can happen through the social engineering attacks. Okay, that we will see in this particular module, right? So that is about social engineering. Now, why hackers use this social engineering techniques, right? So it's least resistance, right? So there are no such resistance are there in that particular social engineering. It's 10 times more successful than other attacks. See, you can perform any other attack as well, but eventually you can consider the success ratio of social engineering is very much higher. It's 10 times more successful than the other attacks. So it is becoming very famous, and it's becoming very like we can consider very go-to attack for the attackers, right? And in this, a common element of malicious attackers, right? So there are certain common elements that malicious attackers can use, right? So through the social engineering, what attacker can get, they can get access to your systems, right? If they have sent you a link, which is something asking for your credentials, and somehow if you provide those credentials, then your they can get your access just like through the login, right? Then they can install some kind of spyware into your system, from which they can spy on your system whole, right? So that can happen. Then like financial loss, frauds, the cyber fraud can happen, right? Then the passwords, obviously your passwords can get compromised, your security can get compromised. Okay, like you can get influence as well. Every time it might happen that they are not having that kind of intention, but they want to try to influence you with their agenda, right? So the agenda that a particular attacker group is having, they can impose their agenda on you by making this kind of social engineering, right? So that's the thing. Like they can get your, they can chat with you and get data, and something like that also can happen, right? So this is all about how social engineering is there, right? So yeah, that is like why hackers are using social engineering. So just a fact that the average business faces over 700 social engineering attacks each year. So now you can understand that this type of an attack is becoming more and more famous among the various attackers, right? So that's the thing. So see, because the success ratio in this type of attack is very high, right? The success ratio is high, so that obviously attacker will try to make this kind of attack so that they can simply, we can consider, they can get data, or they can get money, or they can, whatever their goal is, they can achieve that, right? So that's the thing in social engineering. Okay, so let's continue. So let's see the types of social engineering attack. In that, the first one is phishing. So attackers send a fraudulent email or message that appears to come from a legitimate source to trick the recipient into revealing sensitive information or clicking on malicious link, right? So that's a phishing, where let's say I am attacker, I will craft such a email which completely look like a legitimate one. And if, as you will get that particular mail, I would try to get it something right. I would try to get it something like we can say, which is as coming from a legitimate source. And once if somehow it lands into your inbox, and or if I am sending an SMS, with that I will be sending the link as well. Okay, a kind of a link. If you click on that particular link, from there, what as an attacker I will be having is, I will be like doing certain malicious stuff, like installing something, some bot into your system, and trying to manipulate your system, right? So that's a phishing attack. Not only that, attacker can gain access to your system, attacker can gain access to your account as well through the phishing. So phishing is, as you can see in image as well, I can send you a message something like, hey, you have won this much amount of dollars, click here to avail to redeem your gift, right? And if you click on it, from there, the attacker would be having their own payloads which will be installed, or any malicious stuff that they want to do, they can perform. So that's a thing, common thing in phishing. Okay. Then there is a spear phishing as well. So spear phishing is a cyber crime that use email to carry out the targeted attack against individual and businesses. So spear phishing is something like where you are targeting a particular person and you will send a crafted email. So it's more detailed, and we can say it's more focused kind of phishing attack, where as an attacker you will create a kind of we can say uh, mail which completely look like legit for that particular person or for that particular business, and the person who is having that particular account or a business, if they fall for that particular phishing mail, their data can get compromised, right? Like such as their personal data, right? That can be there, or something like that can be there. So criminal use various savvy tactics, right, to collect personal data about the target, and then send emails to that particular person and show them that they are trustworthy and like that, right? So that's a spear phishing, where it's a focused, where you are targeting an individual to make an attack, right? So that's a type of phishing, which is spear phishing. Okay. Then there is other type, which is baiting. Okay, so baiting is form of social engineering in which attacker promise like enticing items or goods to lure victim, right? So over here in this type of attack, the attacker tries to give some kind of greed to victim, that like, see, you have won something over here with this. You can see in the image which I am having here, you can see, dear user, congratulations, right? We want to thank you for being loyal Google user. Okay, your IP address has been randomly selected to receive free Apple iPhone X, right? From time to time, we select a handful Google user to give them opportunity to receive valuable gift from our partners and sponsors, right? So that kind of whole message has been crafted, and with that you can also see they are giving how satisfied are you with Google. Very satisfied, satisfied, and unsatisfied. This is just to build the trust, to show that person that we are legitimate, we are sending that email from Google, and you can avail your iPhone, the gift that you have got, right? And then if you click on any of this button, right, like very satisfied, satisfied, or unsatisfied, if you click on that, from there they can take you to some form which ask for your credentials, or like that they can do certain malicious stuff from there. So it's completely look like a legitimate one, where they are trying to attract, or they are trying to like give bribe, we can say, to the particular customer to ask for certain things, right? So over here, for an instance, like they may offer free music or movie downloads, aiming to deceive user into like divulging their credential in return, right? So that can happen. Let's say if I craft an attack in which like I will give you something like I'm gonna give you the free Spotify account, right? A free Spotify like subscription for a year, right? You just have to give your, you have to log in your Spotify over here, and then after like we will be giving you that account, or we will be giving you those credits into your account, right? So that kind of thing I can create and send it to you, so that if you click on it, if you give your credentials, your account is going to be hijacked, right? So that is the thing. Like, see, this attack I can like enhance more in terms of, let's say I got your credentials for Spotify. There are majority of chances that your password for which you have set for Spotify, that would be same for your Instagram or Facebook or any other social media, right? So again, I can use the that password and try to gain some other resources as well. So overall, you can consider this type of social engineering attack, which is baiting, in which the attacker tries to give you some like enticing items or goods to lure the victim, so that you can attract to that particular meal, right? So that's the thing in this type of social engineering attack. So social engineering is very interesting topic, in which the attacks are also having innovative approach. Every day you will find a new type of social engineering attack. Like, attacker comes with some different approaches, different methods, tactics, techniques, right? And using that, they are making a different type of attacks. So it's quite interesting field in which like the attackers are making different type of attacks, right? So that's over here. Now there are more types of social engineering attacks, so let's discuss them as well. So one is quid pro quo, right? So in quid pro quo, uh, something is promised in exchange for information, usually in the form of service, where in baiting the promise is typically related to goods or tangible items, right? So like quid pro quo is something like, I will share this information with you, or I will be providing this service to you. Let's say, for example, uh, here that person is giving, say, if you escort me to the ball on Saturday, I will give you the next week of to work, right? So that person who is like manager or employer, he gives you that kind of false promises, right? So that kind of thing is there. So same over here, what attacker does is, attacker sell, like they try to sell you something in service, as a service. Let's say I can just create a simply, let's say I will be giving you warranty of for your mobile device for 1 year. You have to pay $20 to me, right? That kind of thing I can make, right? Okay, let me make it a scenario. So what I'll do is, I will create a website. That website will be saying that we are giving insurance to your mobile devices against any kind of theft, or like your mobile gets stolen or it's lost or something like that, right? So we will charge uh, $50 a year, right? So now I will create this kind of an thing. I will incorporate a whole website. I will uh, make it completely looks like a legitimate one, right? And then after, what I'll do is, I'll simply create a LinkedIn post, Facebook advertisement, Instagram post, and sending to the more and more people. So people will get that thing, and they will find that yes, this looks like a good service that we will get in $50. So they send that particular amount, and then that particular person is never gonna give you the service back, right? They will just collect the money and they will just fly, right? You will not get that thing, right? So that kind of thing, types of social engineering is this. uh, See over here at in our country, there was a big kind of fraud has happened that was related to a mobile device, right? In that, what attacker like what that company, there was a whole company. What they did is they created a campaign that they are going to provide a mobile device, a very simple mobile device, which will be for, let's say, which will be for just, you can consider hardly $5 to $10, right? Yes, it was a basic mobile device which was having a simple Android device, right? Which people will get for $5 to $10, right? And you don't have to pay right now, right? So see, attacker was attacker, or I should say, the group of that particular the people, they were very smart. What they did is, you don't have to pay right now. You just have to fill the form, right? And we will send the device at your home, and you have to make cash on delivery, right? You have to, so people get more trust into that, right? Because they get to know that we don't have to pay right now. When we will receive the device, we are supposed to make the payment. So everyone was quite happy. Like, okay, there is nothing wrong in that. This looks like legitimate one. They are not asking for money to at first sight, right? We will get the device first, and then we are supposed to pay, right? So everyone got that thing. That message got viral. That particular uh, campaign got viral, and like millions of people have registered for that device, right? Millions of people have registered for that device. What you have to do, you have to give your name, mobile number, email address, and your address, the residential address, right? And your some details like your date of birth and your age and something like that, right? So you just have to fill that form, and they will show you, okay, we received your request. The mobile will be sent to you within some time or something like that, right? And once you do that thing, okay, even the campaign was that successful, their server got crashed a lot because of lots of requests that they were getting, right? So eventually what they did is, they got all the data of people. This to get the data, the precise data, because they were sending OTP to verify your mobile number, right? So they got mobile numbers, they got data of like millions of people, and then they just came up with something like we are not able to process your request, or they came up just like something, this will not get happen. But eventually they were not supposed to complete that thing. What they wanted is, they wanted people's personal data. So in just a campaigning, they got millions of users data, and that data, it can be used later on for various purpose, for marketing, or like for any stuff. They can sell that data to marketing agencies and whatnot, right? So that was a kind of attack, not attack, I should say, but campaign, a social engineering campaign was there, right? So that's a social engineering scam we can consider. In exchange of any service or in exchange of any goods or item, they were trying to collect your personal data, right? So that's the thing. The next types of social engineering attack, which is tailgating. Okay, so tailgating is a physical social engineering technique that relies on trust to gain access to a building or secure area in a building, right? So you try to go into physical area of that particular organization. So the criminal may simply walk closely behind someone, right? Slip through an open door or ask to be backed in because they forgot their employee swipe card, right? So let's say, for example, I have to just create an iCard, right? And or let's say I'm going, there is an employee who is going to get into the door. I will quickly walk with him or her, and I'll say, hey, I have forgot my iCard. Can you please swipe and let me in? Right? So as they will allow me to let me in, what I'll do is I will simply go into that particular premises of the office, and let's say into any system, I inject my USB device and just run away from that particular location later on. And that my USB device, my pen drive, would be having certain malicious stuff within that, right? That will be installed into that particular system. So it's quite sophisticated and difficult to make nowadays, but yeah, still this kind of attack can be there, which is tailgating. Like you are walking behind someone and ask them to like allow the to enter into the particular premises, right? So that's a tailgating kind of social engineering. Then whaling. Whaling is very important for to understand. So whaling is basically a social engineering attack targeting high-level executive or other individual with access to sensitive information. Right? You try to trap a big whale, right? A person with more privileges, or we can say a person who is at the top management of the organization, right? So that's why it's called, the phishing is you are trying to manipulate the small fishes, right? Small people. But when you talk about the like people with having high level executives or something like that, that's called whaling, right? So over here, the attacker used phishing or other methods to trick the victim into revealing sensitive data or taking action to give the attacker access to the target system, right? So basically, you are applying some approaches, you are using certain approaches, certain methods to make an attack on a particular big person, okay, who is having more access into the organization, right? So that's called whaling. Okay, so now these are the various types.